Let him fight.
Right here in Miami. There it is. Alright, welcome back to Beagler Outdoors. Today we got our Apex trigger that we're going to put in FN509, and we got it right here. So we'll open this box. Shut that. And we'll take a look at what we got in here. Side. Open this up. Close that. Got our receipt. And we got our Apex trigger. Okay. So to do the Apex trigger, we know that we need your trigger lock. Okay. And you're also going to need a screwdriver, hammer, some punches. Picked up some punches from Harbor Freight. Alright, these are the set we're going to use, so we'll put this set over there. Alright, so we're going to put the Apex trigger in this FN509. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is remove the light. So we'll take the light off. That boy was on there tight. Alright, so get that light off. Take the light off. We'll put it aside over here. Alright, and what we're going to do is, you also need a roller tape somewhere hard to, bang out your pin. And I'm going to do mine on top of butcher block. So I'm going to put the butcher block right down here. I'm going to grab my 3/32 punch and my 1/8 punch. Alright, so I'll put the punches I'm not using right here. So we got those two punches. Alright, so now we're gonna come on down here and get a closer view of what's going on down here. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the slide. Alright, and as you guys know, take off a slide is pretty simple. What you do is you bring it back, okay? Then you twist your lock. Then you take it forward. Then you press the trigger and your slide comes off. Okay, we're going to go over putting in the striker in this one in a little bit. Let me see if I get some more light in here. It seems kind of dark in here. Let me get some more light for you guys. Alright. Okay. Now that we got that somewhat going there, I'm going to get this kind of where you guys can get a good look at it. Okay. Alright, so first thing we're going to want to do, get this up more. Alright, is you're going to want to put your gun in the Apex jig. So we're going to unbolt it, okay? Take everything off. And you're gonna put your gun in the jig. Right? And you're gonna put this. In there, and you're gonna get that in that center hole. First off, I need to turn that back. Okay, and we're gonna put these in here. Alright, and we're gonna put our bad boy in there. Alright, and we're gonna put that like that. Okay. And I put a piece of tape on it so I didn't lose it. And I'm gonna try to get it in the hole it needs to go into. Give me a second. This needs to go into this hole. There we go. Okay. And we'll put these in where it should be. Right there. Alright. Then we'll put our screw in there. You're not going to get it too tight. If you want to make sure that you have this thing extremely tight down here, and you want to make sure you have it extremely tight down here and against there, so it kind of wants to look like that. All right. Then once you got that all tight in there, you can place it back down. All right, and you will tighten your screw, not too tight, just tight enough. Then you want to grab your punch. Okay, right, so right here, and you want to make sure you're on the. Actual. So it sounds like we're on it, and I believe we are. All right, and I believe this punch is more of a tighter punch. So we will give it a tap and see if we can crack us loose a bit. There we go, it started moving. Alright, so we bang that through. Now we'll take this out. Okay, now we will take. Now technically we should have punched it through. You should see. Take that out. Put this aside. Take our cover off, and as you could see, we punched that pin through. So we'll take this out, put it aside. We'll take this off of the gun, and all right, our pin is still stuck in there. So what we're gonna do is take our punch and come right through here, since we know we're clear, and give a couple more taps. Now it went all the way through. Now we'll take it off, and our pin should be captured in there. Alright, there goes our pin. Okay, we're going to put our pin here just to keep it. It should stay there, but alright, we're going to take this. We're going to put this off to the side. We're going to put this off to the side. Put our stuff off to the side. Here's our pin, and put our pin off to the side. Now the next step we have to do is, to get this out, we have to pull out this pin. We're gonna pop out this pin. Now this pin, I'm pretty sure just pushes out fairly easy. They say to use a roll of tape. This is a really good vise to use, you know, to hold your stuff. So that, just taking this off, you can see it's a roll of blue tape. Alright, got a roll of blue tape. That's in the garbage. And then you want to pop that out. So I'm pretty sure that pin comes out pretty easy. So what we're going to do is just give it a little. There we go. That pin came out really easy. Okay, that pin came out real easy. Alright, we're going to pull that pin out. Alright, and we're going to put it to the side. The next pin we have to get out is this pin right back here. Alright, we're going to tap that out. So we're going to put it here on this, there, to kind of hold it in place. We'll grab that bad boy, and we will. Just going to see how you use that as a backsplash to kind of pull it out, and now that we got it there, we'll just kind of send it home. a problem. Now we got that pin out. Okay, so we'll put those pins aside. Okay, and we'll put our 2 punches aside. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the locking pin, take out that slide lock, put that aside. Alright, now we're going to remove this. You just pull up on this and it comes right out, okay? So we slid that right out, put that aside, put that aside. But we can see it right there. Now you're going to remove your spring, okay? And you want to get a look at how the spring is. The spring is right in there on top. Make sure you know how your spring is because you have to put that spring back in the same way. So we'll take a good look at that spring, see how it goes. It's on top. Okay, then we'll take that spring out, put that spring aside. And we'll take off that piece, put that aside. Now you pull this all out as one piece. So you take this, hold it nice and tight, and there you go. Your whole trigger assembly is out. Okay? Now what you do is you slightly pull this apart. Alright? And you hold that together. And your stock trigger, alright, your stock trigger, alright, get that clear, you can get it there, is out, okay? You put that trigger aside. Now you want to dismantle this stuff, okay? Alright, so first thing you want to do is pull off this piece from right here. Alright, I'm going to pull it off. Now when you pull that off, you got to be careful, there's a lot of springs in here. So you take this piece, put it down, okay? Then it's going to come right apart, okay? So you take it right apart, take that off. Okay, that's one side. You take your spring out. Okay, and you take, now what you, just lost that, your retaining pin which was under here. Alright, you take that out, and you have a spring there as you can see. Okay, and you want to take your sear out because you're going to change the sear, so you're going to remove this top pin, you remove. Put that right there, and then you can remove, you got your spring, right, and you got that, and you want to remove that bad boy. That's what you want to change, right? Now you're going to go into your Apex trigger. Probably want to put your other trigger just back in there for good keeping. Close that up. Now you want to reassemble. Okay, so you have your Apex, the trigger itself is going to go on last, okay? So you have these pieces here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Alright. And take your top piece out. Alright. Your new Apex one. Alright. And you're going to put it on the top. Okay, back where the other one went. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that apart, and you have your little spring here. Okay, with your spring, you have a tiny little spring here. That you want to place that spring. You want to put your sear down. All right, you're going to want to place. You have a hole in the side of the sear. All right, and you want your spring piece to go in that hole. You'll see there's a hole where your spring piece should come out the side of. Get focused. There we go. Come on, focus. There we go. See it? There you go. Alright? And once you have it set, you put that back. Now what you want to do is you want to take this bad boy right here. You want to keep everything the way it was. Alright? And you want to get her. You want to get her in your sear, right? So alright, trying to remember how I did this. That's the hole right there. So you want that to go like that away. Alright. And you want to take your pin, put your pin back in. Alright. Through everything. Back through everything. And there you go. Alright. See, that's kind of how you want it to be. Alright. And you want to get it to go down and capture. So what you want to do is you want to push it to the side so it kind of gets locked in there and stays down. Okay? Sorry for the blurriness, but that's how you want it to look, alright? And you get that bad boy back. You got your bottom right there again. You want to put your stuff back together. Alright, so you get that going there. Alright. Like so. You want to put your other half back on it. Hold it up. That in there. Alright. And you want to take your other half and put it on there. And now you're going to have to hold this. You got your sear in there. Pretty good. And you're going to hold this bad boy. And you want to take your pin. And you want to put your pin, this pin right here. You want to get that bad boy right into that spring. So you want to get it back into that spring. So you're going to there. Now you got that hole in that spring. All right? All right. Now when you get that, and you want to put this piece, and you want to put it right back in. Alright, so you're going to put that back in, and you want to push down your sear so it captures in there, and there you go. Okay. Things in there nice and tight. Make sure everything's in there nice and tight and good. Alright, that's good there. Alright, and then you want to bring it down so it's all holding where it has to be. Alright, and I believe we are about good. Put the sear down, and it's hard, you have to push that down and lock it in place. Nope, fell out. Try it again, get it in there, drop that down and get it to lock. And there you go. And you put your other piece back on to hold stuff in place. And there she goes. Alright. It's all back together now. Alright, you got your old sear and your stuff. You see you changed out the sear and put the Apex one in. Now we are going to drop it in to the gun. Okay, now we're going to reassemble it. So what we want to do is you want to put your trigger on. So there's that and that. Take your trigger and put that on, and there you go. Alright, now you have it all on. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put it back into the gun. Alright, so you're going to grab the gun. Right here is the bottom half, and you're going to put it back in. Alright. Just the way it came, make sure it's nice and even. Scoot it down in there, but we're having technical difficulty. There we go. There we go. Now we're back. Okay, got that in there. Everything's normal. Got your trigger in there. Now we're going to put it back together. So we'll put this here. Put this camera up a little bit. And put it back together the way we took it apart. So we got this here. And we're going to put our buddy to spring back in. We're going to put this back in the way it came out. Okay, there you go. And get your spring in there. And your spring, this is very important. Your spring goes on top here. Alright, and it gets sent down. Let me get it in place. There we go. That's how you want that spring in there. Alright. It moves, so you gotta kind of be careful getting that thing in there. And what you want to do is grab this to capture it all. So we'll take that, and we'll put that to there. And we'll take do first is this is the hard part here. You're good. I am. This is the hard part here. Put that there. take this and put that. Come on. Alright. Get that in there, and you have to make sure your spring looks exactly like that. If you don't have your spring there on top, it won't shoot right. So then you want to capture this all, so you want to put this all in there, and see how you got that all captured and everything's fine, and that's how that should look. Alright, and then you want to pop your homeboy back in, so your homeboy that has to pop in. Alright. You want to try to capture everything, so I'm going to have to jiggle it around a bit to capture it all. Give a little tap to get it in place there. And it seems like we got that all in. So what you want to do is give that a sink that a little bit, tad bit. Oop, too far, too far, too far. I believe that we're good. Now, you want to drive in your back pin, which is right here. So it came out this way, so you want to drive it in the way it came out. Alright, I just... Oh, something's not lined up in there. Bit off alignment a little bit. Alright, what is not lined up here? Set that down a little bit, so I'll put it here on the wood, get a little set. And we're good on that pin. Okay. Now we'll put the hardest pin back in. Now we drove it out this way, so it's going to get driven back in the opposite way. So came out this way, so we're going to go in this way. We're going to get it started. Okay. Get it started. Get started in here. Alright. And try to get it all lined up. Jacking us around here. Sure we're all good. And you should be able to put it back in your jig. Because your jig would actually be the opposite way around now. So put that in there. Put that bad boy. This taps to get it back in. Make sure we're all lined up. All right, grab this. See where we're at. And we're good. I give it one more tap just to hold it in place. Just one final little tap to see it a little better. And that can come through a little bit more, so we're gonna try to give that one more tap, one more nice tap in. The problem is here. Feel comfortable getting it in another hair. There we go. Now we got it. Now we'll do a function check to make sure it works. We'll get this bad boy right back in there. And we'll spin it around until we get it. There we go. And we'll put it back in. Right. Lock that in place. Do a function check. Try it again. And that trigger is installed. So that's the trigger. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the actual striker. So take this out, slide it back, slide it over, shot, come on. Right. Now we'll get to the striker. Do the striker is pretty simple, alright? What you do is come back here. Alright, you got a little pin in there. Slide the pin back. Take your top off. Alright, then you take that out. And you have your striker. Striker's in there. And we just lost a piece. Let me go get it. Don't let that fly away. You won't be able to find it. Alright, so how to get the piece that flew away. Don't let that piece fly out with your spring. Alright, and you have your trigger here, and then you just pretty much you got a spring in here. So if I take this off, you got a pin. Alright, I'm not going to get too much into it, but you pull this pin out. Alright, this pin, and there's a spring in there. Alright, and a metal piece, you slide that in and you put that piece back in. All right, I'm just trying to do it because it's hard with the camera, but just slide that piece out, and there's a piece back in there. It comes out the back. Get your new striker. This is actually an Apex striker. Put that piece back in. Get that piece lined back up. All right. Then you should have a spring in there. There it is. You put your spring back on your striker. Put your striker back in there. It flies in my face. And you put, your spring and that back together, and you put it in here. Then it should be able to kind of slide your bad boy down and push that in. I can get myself in there. There you go. And you want to slide it back in there so you lock it in place. Alright, there you go. And put that back in, and be careful this don't fly away to high heaven. Alright, and you get a piece right here, your back plate. You get it. This is hard to do, so you got to be real careful. The best thing to do is to kind of get this and take something and push it in place, because this thing will fly away. I'm telling you, it will fly away. So you want to make sure you get it in there. Okay. Get it in there, and then put your back plate on. Hopefully this don't fly away on me. Give me a second. All right, hold on. So you want to slide that back and put your back plate in. All right. What I was saying is that, you know, you have to grab here and pull that back, and you can slide your slide plate in. I'm telling you, you let go, that thing is going to go, whew, it's going to be gone forever. Alright, so that was kind of brief on how to do the striker. It's not as detailed, but I will put a link in the bottom to the Apex install. It's pretty simple. Like I was saying, this tool right here is a must. I mean, you have to have this, because, you know, I didn't put any damage at all. No damage at all to the pin. Alright, and what I will do is I'll put a picture right here of how my last pin looked, trying to do it without this jig. And also you can crack your frame, so you don't want to not use this jig. I think the jig is like 30 bucks. Alright, so put this all back together. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my stuff together, and we're going to go outside and take a couple of shots and make sure that it's firing correctly. Stay tuned. Alright, so now that we got the Apex trigger installed, about 36 yards out, I got some AR 500 metal targets. Probably won't hit it because I haven't really sighted this gun in too well, but we're going to put in 6 rounds. Alright. Load 6 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds, and we're going to put it in. Alright, got that in there. And put on our ear protection. Where's the ear protection? Is it on my head? There's my ear protection. Got our eyes and our ears on. Alright, we're going to go hot. We're going to take one shot first. I know that if you put the spring wrong in here, it will get stuck back and it won't go in, so we're going to make sure that doesn't happen first. So we're going to go hot. Got one loaded in. We're going to take a shot and make sure it cycles for the second shot. cycled. All right, now we'll take a couple of shots, see if we can hit that target out there. Six shots, fired good. I got to sight the gun in more because I didn't really hit the AR 500 targets, but I'm going to clear this gun real fast. Put everything back in there. Now we know that the Apex trigger worked. I proved to you guys with the shots. Like I said, if you put the spring wrong, it will get stuck in the back position and you'll have to take the gun back apart again. So there you go, Apex trigger install and fire. Once again, thanks for watching. Beagler Bass Fishing.